Last week we looked at the theory relating to the bank reconciliation. We just need to recap one or two things. Today we're going to actually do a bank reconciliation. There wasn't one in the 2016 October-November exam that you've got printed, so I'll obviously send another past paper through to Gemma to print for you guys, and then we'll do one of the past paper Bank Recon questions at a later stage, so you'll see how they how they tested and what the questions are like. When looking at a bank reconciliation, we're looking at cash and cash equivalents. Last week we spoke about the business having their own records and the bank having their own records. Can I change the bank's records? No. Can I change my records? Yes. So when I look at my records, if I've got a favorable bank balance, it's going to be a debit in my books. And in the bank's books, it's going to be seen as a credit. Because if I give money to the bank as a deposit, it's favorable for me as the business, and that's why I capture an asset. The business is going to view that deposit as a liability because for them, they're owing you the deposit that you've given them. And that's why they're going to show a credit on the bank statement. Right, so when focusing on a bank statement, you want to see a credit balance. A credit balance of the bank statement would represent something good. A debit balance would be bad on the bank statement. In my books, I'll have a debit. In their books, I'll have a credit. Then the opposite is true. If I've got a liability in my books, then it's unfavorable, meaning I'm going to have to owe the bank. So if I've got a liability, the bank is going to have the asset. There's always a debit and a credit. So if you've got the credit in your books, the bank's going to have a debit in their books because they'll view it as an asset because they're actually going to get something from you. What do we call an unfavorable bank balance? We spoke about it last week. Just to revise, it's called a bank overdraft. Bank overdraft means you've overdrawn. You've taken too much from the business, and that's why we've got an overdraft. When looking at the bank reconciliation, we need to remember this. Can I change my books? Yes. Can I change the bank's books? No. So there's two things that you need to remember. Adjust or reconcile. You never do both. It's one or the other. And always check who's correct. Are we correct? Or is the business, is the bank correct? Because you've got the business and you've got the bank. And if I know who's correct, then I'll know what to do. Either adjust or reconcile. Then we spoke about the different items that could appear on either the bank statement or in our books. If there are things that appear in our books that aren't on the bank's books, we need to reconcile because our books are correct. If we see things on the bank statement that we don't see in our books, we might have to adjust or reconcile depending on who's correct. Okay, we need to look at, well, is this something that should be on my bank statement or not? If the bank made a mistake, it shouldn't be on the bank statement. So you need to always consider who's correct. Are my books right or are their books right? Then we're going to look at the process. We spoke about the process last week. We're going to actually do a question this week. So I've given you two questions. The first question, there's already a recording. It's a public video on the YouTube channel that takes you to the Bank Recon. I take you through the theory, plus I do a question. So I'm not going to do the same question. I'm going to do another question looking at example 2, so at least then you've got two different videos to look at. Okay, obviously one public video, and then the one will be more the private video from this session. Okay, so when focusing on a bank reconciliation, we're going to be looking at the bank statement. We're going to start with the bank statement. Can I change the bank statement? No, I can't. So because I can't change the bank statement, it's a good place to start because I'm going to use that as the starting point and then reconcile to that particular amount. That's what I'm going to look at. So let's have a look at the question. I'm going to close this. We don't need this anymore. Here's the question that I printed for you. Okay, there's a question and there's an answer. So just take both. Take the question and then take the solution as well. Obviously, we're going to create the solution. Right. With accounting, having solutions don't really help because if you don't know how to get to the solution, there's a problem. Right, so the textbook examples that you've got are already complete. Those examples that they're given you in your study guide are already complete. We need to look at a fresh question that hasn't got anything. So now we can do the ticking, we can do the circling, we can do the highlighting, all of that on this particular question. So when looking at a bank recon, this is a practical bank recon because you've actually got the source documents. You could be given a question like the ones that you'll see in quite a lot of exam papers where they describe all of this. So they tell you, this is what we did, this wasn't picked up in the question. When looking at a question like this, you're starting fresh. So you're literally looking at, what do I do? Do I adjust or do I reconcile? We're going to start with the bank recon. Let's interpret what we've got. Well, I've got a bank recon statement for the month of May. The instructions are to reconcile for the month of June. That's what we're looking at. So if I'm looking at the month of June, I need information relating to June. How often do you get a bank statement? Correct. You get a bank statement every month. So every month you would be able to do a bank reconciliation. So I've got a May bank recon. May means last month. So if I'm looking at information that I'm given in this question, last month I did a recon. And these were the items that I identified from last month. If I talk about one of these, outstanding checks, what does that mean? Well, this means in May, I wrote out a check. I gave it to a supplier. I'm paying someone. And now I'm waiting for the bank to process the payment. In other words, I'm waiting for the bank to take money from my account and move it to the person I'm paying, their account. Did that take place in May? Well, not for these 3 checks. Those are 3 outstanding checks, meaning in the previous month, those checks have been outstanding because the bank hasn't processed them. You've also got a deposit. Same story applies. Last month in May, there was a deposit. Did the deposit show in the May's bank statement? No, it didn't. And that's why I'm looking at it as a reconciling item, because I've got something that's in my books that hasn't been recorded in the bank's books. So when looking at May's bank statement, I wouldn't have seen the deposit. That's why you've got an outstanding deposit on the May bank recon, last month's recon. This was last month. This is a new month. We're in June. So in June, you would obviously have June's check counterfills. Okay, so check counterfills would be my payments. Where would counterfills be recorded? In the cash payments journal. That's where you would record a check counterfoil. Cash deposits would be recorded in the cash receipts journal because source documents are recorded in journals. That's the accounting cycle. Okay, we've looked at that. Okay, in your textbook and in your study guide, they show you the accounting cycle from start to finish. Start with the transaction, end with the financial statements. Then you've got some additional information, and then you've got the bank statement. Very important, bank statement. Why? Because this is what I'm actually going to be using to do the reconciliation. I'm going to be checking things on my bank statement, and I'm going to be seeing, do those things appear in my books as well as the bank's? That's what we're trying to do. So this is for the month of June. That's what you've been given. That's all the information. Okay, so we need to draw up our answer. So what does the answer look like? Well, we're going to have internal records, and we're going to have external records. Okay, this would be the answer. Okay, so in past papers, I have seen them test all of this. They've tested journals, they've tested the ledger, and they've tested the bank reconciliation statement. They've tested all 3. So what you can be given as a complete, let's say, question would be your cash journal, so cash receipts journal. And we're only going to have 2 columns here. We'll have the details, and we'll have the bank. Then we're going to have the same thing, but for the cash payments. So then you've got cash payments journal, cash receipts journal, and you'll have 2 columns. See, this is what I would be drawing up for myself in the actual exam. Okay, because in the exam you get folio paper, you have to create the solution. So if they're asking me for everything Bank Recon, this is everything Bank Recon. I can't have anything other than this. Okay, this is everything. in terms of having internal records. Internal records, can I adjust? Yes, you can. So if I'm looking at internal records, the key here is adjust. Adjust meaning I can change what's in my books. I can't change what's in the bank's books. External records cannot be changed. So you reconcile. Okay, you don't do both, you do one or the other. What does the bank reconciliation statement look like? Well, it's just a debit and a credit column. You'll have a debit column, you'll have a credit column, and that's it. Okay, the last thing I need to draw up is a T account for bank. Bank has a debit and a credit side. It's part of the general ledger. General ledger accounts have debits and credits. So bank, general ledger, account. And I'm obviously going to have an opening balance here. Okay, so that's what we're going to have. This is internal, that's external. What's on the left stays on the left. What's on the right stays on the right. You don't mix the two. Okay, they're very, very separate. Internal records you can adjust, external records you can't, so you'd have to reconcile. And this is what my answer would look like. Obviously, I would put other things here, like, for example, bank reconciliation statement for the business's name for June, and then for the year, and all of that. Okay, so you can obviously add that to your answer, okay, in terms of detail. Same thing here with journals. You would obviously write the company name, cash receipts journal for the month of June, etc. Okay, that's the first bit. Generate your answer. Okay, so now we've got the answer. This is what our answer is going to look like, our solution. Now we need to go to the question. Now we need to go down the bank statement. Okay, remember we said in the rules, start with the bank statement. Why? I can't change anything in the bank statement, so it's a good place to start. If I'm starting in the bank statement, I need to go down the list, and I need to look for things that are important. The most important thing here in the bank statement is the balance. Which balance is important? The one at the beginning or the one at the end? No, there's many balances here. The one at the top, that's the balance at the beginning of the month. What am I doing in a bank recon? I'm checking what happened during the month. So if I'm checking what happened during the month, which balance is important? Exactly. The one at the end. Correct. Because this balance is going to show what happened during the month in terms of the net effect. Okay, so the net effect in terms of this bank is negative 23644.81. That's the net amount. This means, is this in an overdraft or favorable? Favorable or unfavorable? It's unfavorable. Right, here I've got a negative balance, meaning my credits in terms of deposits aren't as big as my debits, which are my payments. So looking at this, this is an unfavorable bank balance. If it's unfavorable, what does that mean? Means you owe the bank. Exactly. This is the bank overdraft. So let's go to our bank recon. Remember, whose records are we looking at? The bank's records. Balance as per the bank statement. Would this be a debit or a credit? Yes. In the bank statement, It's a debit. Why? Because you're owing the bank, and we're looking at the bank statement. So it's the opposite. Okay, you want to see a credit on your bank statement. Credit balance is good on your bank statement. Okay, because that means you actually have something in the bank. If you see this, this is bad. Okay, this means you're owing the bank. All right, so 23644.81. 23644.81. 23644.81. 23644.81. Perfect. That's the balance as per the bank statement. Why? I'm reconciling the bank statement balance to what I know in my books. Okay. Now we need to go down the list. The balance from last month is not important because you would have done the recon last month. There's the first amount, 94. We can see it's a debit. So most likely this is going to be a payment or a check. Okay, so whose books are we looking at? The banks. I want to confirm, are both of us on the same page? Meaning, do both of us show a payment of 3494.18? Where would I want to confirm this? I would want to confirm this with my payments. Do I see a check here? No, I don't. I don't see a check here on 94. So what I need to do, I need to look at the previous month's Bank Recon. Oh, there we go. There's 94. So what does that mean? That means last month's outstanding check has actually been processed. The bank has processed it, so it's no longer outstanding. So can I tick that? Yes. I'm going to tick this, and then I'm going to tick that. I've confirmed an amount. Your books and the bank's books are 100% correct. No problems. Next, a deposit. Same thing. I want to check the deposit. I would be looking for that in my receipts. Do I see it in my cash receipts journal? It's not there. But if I look at the outstanding deposit, oh, there we go. Tick. Right, so last month you had an outstanding deposit. Did the deposit go through? Yes. Okay, the thing is, if I relate this to practical, real-world examples, in May, on the last day of May, so the 30th of May, we're going to go into the bank's branch and we're going to deposit $2,038.27. That was done on the last day of May. Are we going to see that in my May bank statement? No, because that happened on the last day of May. But when I get my June's bank statement, I can see, oh, it did go through, but it went through at the beginning of the month. Okay, that's when the deposit was actually processed. So are your books and the bank's books correct? Yes. So again, I'm going to tick this. So tick the deposit here, tick the deposit there. Your books and the bank's books, 100% aligned. Next. Correction of an error. 2911.82. I need to confirm, did the bank correct an error? Well, errors will appear in the Bank Recon. There's the bank error. So last month, the bank made a mistake. They fixed the mistake, so I can tick this amount, and I can tick that amount. The error has been processed. Then we've got a deposit. Where would you want to see the deposit? In the cash receipts journal. Okay, we need to confirm my books and the bank's books. Right, so here's the deposit. 18936. 18936, is it there? There we go. 84 cents. Tick that amount. Tick this amount. Your books and the bank's books, 100% correct. Then we've got a deposit. Well, that was the deposit. Now we've got a check. 130. 4286.66. Let's go back and check. Do we have that? 42866, perfect. Tick that. There's the payment. It's in my books. It's in the cash payments. Is it in the bank's books? Yes, it is. Tick. Then I've got 131. I can see that's a payment. 160750. Is it here? 160750. It is. Tick that. Tick this. Your books and the bank's books are 100% correct. Next, another deposit. 20740. 20740. Is it there? Yes, it is. There's it there. There's the receipt. 20734. 2074034. There's it there. Ticket. Happy with that. Let's go back. Let's check the check. The check here is 21775. 21775. Can I confirm that in my books? 21775. No, I can't. Do I have the right check number? Yes, I do. Okay, have a look at this. Okay, so this is an amount that you need to circle and highlight. 132. And where's it? Here's it. Yeah, the amounts aren't the same. The check is there, but the amount is different. Right, so what must I do? I need to look for dish information. I need to investigate. Okay, so let's investigate. Let's look at the dish information. Is there anything here that helps us with that? Yes, it does. There we go. Point number 2 says, the bank has recorded check 132 at the incorrect amount. So, who is correct?
The bank has recorded the amount incorrect here. Okay, the bank is wrong.
The bank is wrong, correct. The bank recorded check number 132 at the incorrect amount. So if you're looking at your bank statement, do you agree with this figure? No, you don't. The bank made a mistake. If I look at my books, do I agree with that figure? Yes. So whose books are correct? The business. So am I going to adjust or reconcile? I'm going to reconcile. I'm not going to adjust because my books are correct. Okay, you don't change your books if your books are correct. So I'm not going to do anything here. All I'm going to do is fix what the bank had, which was incorrect. So must the amount go up or down? Well, this is the correct amount, 237,850. What did the bank show? 2177.55. Well, 50. Okay, so is the bank going to have to process more or less? They're going to have to process more. Good. So this will be a bank error. The bank is going to have to process more. What were the two amounts? Let's go back and check. What was this amount here? 137,850. Okay, on your calculator, can you type in 2378.5? Yes, 2378.5 minus this figure here, 2177.5. 201. 201. Okay. 201 is going to be an amount that I'm going to have to debit. Why? The debit is too low. The debit needs to increase. That's the bank error. Happy with that? Great. Now we're looking at the next bits. Service fee. Service fee 576. It's a debit, so we would expect to see this on my payments. Let's go back. Do I see any payment here for a service fee for that amount? No, I don't. Right, so whose books are correct? The bank. Why? The bank is showing a service fee, meaning they've charged you for having a bank account. This service fee should be recorded in my books. Do you agree? So the bank's books are correct. I'm not going to reconcile. If my books aren't, what must I do? I'm going to adjust. Where would I adjust for the service fee? In my journals. Which journal would a service fee go to? Cash payments. Good. Right. If I look at my cash payments journal, I need to start with something. So we're going to start with total. Total. Okay, because remember, we're not only going to have these corrections in my journal. We're going to have other transactions as well that came from the month. So if in my cash receipts journal, what will I show there? Well, that amount. That's my total receipts in my cash receipts journal, because that's what I would have had that I'm going to deposit. Okay, so 103, 21103. 103, 103, 211.03. 103,211.03. 103,211, 103,211.03. Perfect. So this is the opening total that I would have in that particular journal. Same thing applies to your cash payments. Check counterfoils, 27,369.33. 27,369.33. 27,369.33. There's my total. Okay, we just said the service fee doesn't appear in my books. So adjust or reconcile? Adjust. Service fee, what was it? 567. 567. There's the service fee. Got that? Yes. Great. Keep going down the list on the bank statement. Next bit is Godfrey, debtor, 18,000. Okay, where would we want to see this? Well, it's a credit, so this would be a receipt. Let's go and have a look at my receipts. Do I see 18,000 here? No, I don't. Do I see 18,000 here? No, I don't. So I need additional information. Do I see 18,000 here? No, I don't, but there is a note here about a direct deposit. Okay, on 7 June for a debtor settling his accounts. Okay, so there we go. Godfrey is the debtor. Does that make sense? Perfect. So this 18,000 isn't being shown in my books. It's a direct deposit. A direct deposit obviously isn't going to be recorded in your books because you wouldn't have known it happened. Okay, so if someone directly deposits money into your account, you need to now investigate, well, where did it come from? What is it for? Right, so Godfrey directly deposited 18,000 in your account. This was from a debtor. Are we going to adjust or reconcile? We're going to adjust. Perfect. So, debtor, Godfrey, 18,000. That's going to go to my cash receipts because I haven't captured it. Got that? Perfect. Next, 133. This is a check because it's a debit, so it's probably a payment. Where would I want to confirm this? In my cash payments or here in my check counterfoils? Do I see it there? 133? Yes, there's 133. 3,215. I can tick that. I can tick that. Same amount. Happy with it. On the 12th, you've got a deposit. 721403. Let's check. Is it here? 721403. Yes, it is. Tickets. Tickets. Next, cash handling fee. 160. This is a payment because it's a debit. So I would expect to see this here. Do I see 160 for a bank charge? No, I don't. No cash handling fee. Just to reconcile. You'd have to adjust because the bank's books are correct. The bank statement must show this expense. Your books must show this expense. So cash handling fee. Cash handling fee 160. Next. Now we've got another payment. Oh, we've got two payments. That's unusual. We need to circle. Is it possible to confirm both? Let's check. Let's go back. We're looking for a payment. Do I see a payment here? Yes, I do. There's it. I can confirm it. So I can tick the one. There's 4215. Ticket. Go back to my statement. Ticket. 4215. Can I tick the second one? No, I can't. So I need to highlight, circle, underline this. Then I need to investigate. So let's go to the dish information. Is there anything here that talks about that? Yes, there's it. Point number 10. What happened?
The bank debited it twice incorrectly, so the bank is wrong. We need to reconcile.
Correct. Okay, good. So the bank incorrectly debited your account twice. Problem? Big problem. Right, the bank shouldn't debit your account twice. They should only debit it once. So how am I going to fix this? Adjust and reconcile. You're going to reconcile because your books are correct. The bank's books needs to be fixed. You can't change the bank statement, so you're going to report it, and then the bank will hopefully refund you the debit. Incorrect, duplicate, debit. Right, the bank is obviously going to reverse the transaction. So if they reverse the transaction, they're going to give you back the money that they debited. So that will be a credit of 4215. Make sense? Great. There's another reconciling item. Next, check RD. Right, what is an RD check? An RD check means it's returned to the drawer. It's a dishonored check. Okay, dishonored check means someone has given you a check that they've written out. You take the check, you deposit it into your bank account. Then the bank comes back to you and says, sorry, I couldn't transfer money from that person's account to yours because their account didn't have enough funds. So dishonored checks always go to the cash payments journal. Why? Because you're reversing out a receipt that you would have captured previously. Okay. So check RD, 7,700. There might have been a note about that. Yes, there was. Here's it. Point number 4. A check received from a debtor marked as returned to drawer, meaning there's a mistake on the check. It's wrong. It never went through. Right. So a dishonored check, if you just want to study it, always goes through to the cash payments journal. 7,700 goes here. Check RD or dishonored check, you can decide what you want to write as long as you've indicated what it is.
So isn't it the same thing as a bounce check?
Yes, it is. Okay, if a check bounces, that's what they're talking about. Okay, it's dishonored. Right. What's next? Another payment. 135 1428.89. Let's go and have a look. Is it there? Is it? There's it. Yep, there's it there. Tick. 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 Is the deposit in our books? Well, let's check. It's on our bank statement. Is it in our books? 5,000. I've got a 5,039 here. And this is what? A 5,439. Ooh, what must we do? Circle, highlight, underline. Why? The amounts are different. Yes, so that amount is different to this amount. So whose books are correct? We need to investigate. Right, so if I investigate, what do I see here? There we go. Point number 3. What does point number 3 say? It says the deposit number 4 was credited on the bank statement on 19 June at the correct amount. So, correct. Our books are wrong. You're right. So if our books are incorrect, what must I do? You need to adjust. Good. Because you're looking at the bank statement and the bank statement's balance is correct. So I'm not going to do anything to the 5439.82. I've just captured it incorrectly. Does that make sense? Okay, so what does the bank show? 5439.82. What do we show?
5039.82.
Okay, what's the difference? Work it out. One minus the other?
There's a difference of 400.
Adjust or reconcile?
Adjust.
Why?
Because our books are wrong.
Correct. Perfect. Right, so you're going to have to adjust. I'm going to have to move this through to my cash receipts journal. Okay, incorrect deposit. The deposit should have been more. It should have been 400 Rand more. Is it 400 Rand? You checked today? Okay, one amount minus the other. Okay. Next, Clark CC, 15,300. Let's go back. We would expect to see this here in my cash deposits. Do I? No, I don't. So I need to go to the addition information. Is there anything here? Yes, there is. Another direct deposit. There's it. Point number 6. Another direct deposit was for services rendered. Okay, so if I'm rendering a service, is this income or an expense? Good. Are our books or are the bank's books correct? Good. The bank's books are correct. So will I adjust or reconcile? You would have to adjust. Good. Direct deposits would go into your cash receipts journal. And this is for services rendered. So I'm going to show, you can either write Clark CC or you can write services rendered, either or. It shouldn't make a difference as long as you've identified it. What is the amount? 15,300. That's the amount that hasn't been recorded in my books, but it has been recorded by the bank. Makes sense? Great. Next, 136 for 1964372. Can you confirm that? Is it here? Yes, it is. There's it. Tick it in the payments. Tick it in the receipts. Happy. Right, then we've got an account fee. What is that? It's a bank charge. Right, do I see the bank charge in my cash payments? No, I don't. So this is going to be an adjusting or adjusting or reconciling item. Adjust. Where would you put this? Cash payments journal. Good. The account management fee. $258. Next, Wayne Inc. 3150. Where would I want to confirm this? I would want to confirm this with my cash payments. Do you see a payment there for 3150? No, I don't. So I need to investigate. Is there additional information? Yes, there is. Point number 9. What does point number 9 say? Well, it says the check for Wayne on the bank statement was incorrectly debited to our account. No, it's not money due for us. It's a payment. This is someone else's payment because it's a debit. Hey? What's wrong? Okay, this is someone else's payment. The question stated the check for Wayne on the bank statement was incorrectly debited to our account. So this is something that took place that wasn't ours. Our account has actually processed a payment for someone else. Who made the mistake? The bank. Who's correct? The business. Adjust or reconcile? Reconcile. Good. The bank is going to apologize and hopefully give you back the money that they've taken, and they're going to process a reversal for an amount of 3,150. That was given in the question. Make sense? Great. On the 27th, we have another payment, 137. This was for 893.06. We would want to check that with my payments. Is it there? Yes, it is. 893.06 is there. Tick, tick. Go back, look at the next line item. Enters on overdraft. Where would you want to see enters on overdraft? Receipts or payments? Good. Why payments? What type of account is an overdraft? It's a liability. And if I'm paying interest on the liability, it's an expense. Okay, so interest on overdraft is an expense. Have I captured it? No. Must I? Yes. Adjust to reconcile? Adjust. Perfect. Interest on overdraft? Amount 120. Got that? Great. Let's go back. Telcom. Do you see Telcom as one of your payments? Go to your cash payments journal or your check counterfoils. Do you see a payment here for Telcom? No. Adjust to reconcile. Adjust. Why? Have a look at the additional information. The debit order was for the monthly telephone. So we're paying Telkom for the telephone. Am I going to record this? Of course I am. And this is going to affect the outcome of the Bank Recon. Why? Because I'm adjusting for those discrepancies. Okay, which journal? It's a debit order, so it'll be the cash payments. Good. Telkom, 4,500. Telephone. You could write Telkom here if you wanted to. Telephone, 4,500. Got that? Great. Then you've got another debit. No, not money owed to SARS, money paid to SARS. Right, so if I've paid SARS something, where should this be shown? Receipts or payments? Payments. Do you see it in your payments? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that here? No, it isn't. Adjust or reconcile? Adjust. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have to adjust for this debit order, and this was for taxes, SARS. You can write SARS, you can write taxes, either or, and the amount. What is it? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So have we looked at the bank statement? Yes. All we need to do now is what? Go back and look at the separate bits of information. Okay, so last month's Bank Recon, did I did I tick everything? Is there anything here that I haven't ticked? What? I've still got 2 outstanding checks. Correct. One, number 13 and number 78. Okay, so I need to investigate. Number 13. Is there anything here about check number 13? There we go. Here's something. What does point number 1 say? Good. So stale checks are checks that have been issued for longer than 12 months. Where do stale checks always go? Not 12, 6 months, sorry. Where do stale checks always go? Cash receipts journal. Why do I put them in the cash receipts journal? Because it's a stale check. So in the past, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months ago. Okay, it doesn't matter where it is, but it must be longer than 6 months. So either month 7, month 8, month 9, month 10. Okay? Did I actually pay this? No. You thought you paid it. You wrote out a check, you gave it to someone, they never cashed it. The check is now stale. So you had a payment in your books 7 months ago. Should you have a payment in your books? No. What must I do? Reconcile or adjust? Reconcile. Whose error? The business. Okay, because the business needs to process it because they didn't actually make a payment. It never went through. Right, so you can write down this stale check. And you can study that. Stale checks always go to the cash receipts journal. Dishonored checks always go to the cash payments journal. You can learn that, you can remember that. It's not going to change. What is the check for? Let's get the amount. 2-1, correct. Perfect. Did you tick check number 78 from last month's recon? No, you didn't. So what does that mean? It's still outstanding. Do you agree? Okay, if you haven't ticked an amount, it's still outstanding. Was there any additional information about check number 78? No, there wasn't. Have a look. There's nothing here, right? Yeah, we've covered the VAT, we've covered that, we've covered that, we've covered that, we've covered that. We've covered everything here. Okay, so if we haven't covered this, then it's still an outstanding check. Right, so it's outstanding last month, is it still outstanding this month? Yes, because it hasn't gone through the bank statement yet. Outstanding check or checks, bank reconciliation, 4,000. Check number 94, no, 78. This is going to eventually go through, hopefully, and when it does, they're going to debit my account. Make sense? Great. Next, we've circled that, we've dealt with it, we've done the bank error, right? Is there anything else from the bank reconciliation statement from last month that I need?
What happens with the balances for the bank general ledger?
Very good. Okay, so do you guys agree? This is what? Last month's bank balance. Was that amount correct? No, it needed to be adjusted, right? But after the adjustments, I can now say that this bank balance is accurate. It's correct. Okay, so this is the amount that you're going to start in the general ledger. Is this favorable or unfavorable?
That's favorable.
It's unfavorable. Why? Whose books are you looking at?
The bank.
The bank's books. The bank's books show what? A debit. Our books show what? A credit. Is this favorable or unfavorable? Unfavorable. Why? It's the general ledger account. Okay, so general ledger accounts, get the balance. 1st of June, balance brought down. Amount 65721. 65721.78. Is that the right amount? Let's double check. 65721, 65721.78. Perfect. Great. Are you now happy with the last month's recon? Yes, I've dealt with everything. Everything's complete. We've done it. Okay, check counterforce for the month. Did you tick everything here? No, you didn't. The last 2 months weren't ticked. So what are these? Outstanding checks. More outstanding checks. 138, 139. If they're outstanding, they're eventually going to be debited. So when I debit this account, I'm going to debit this with 5,600, and I'm going to debit this with 1,780. Those are 2 additional outstanding checks. Make sense? Perfect. Now I'm happy with this, right? Tick this. Am I happy with the deposits? Did I circle everything? Tick everything? No, I didn't. The last 2 still need to be processed. Okay, so what are those? Outstanding deposits. Whose books are correct? The bank's books. Well, our books. The bank hasn't shown it yet. Okay, so our bank general ledger, in terms of our journals, would have shown 2 deposits. Has the bank shown it? No, it's not on the bank statement. So just to reconcile.
It's not on the bank statement, right? So we need to reconcile.
Yes. Okay, reconciling items. Good. Outstanding deposits. Number 5 and 6. The one deposit was for 16,780. The other was for 34,500. And those are your 2 outstanding deposits. Okay, does that make sense so far? Happy so far? Right, now all you guys need to do is literally balance off. Okay, so how do I do the closing of the bank recon? Well, I need totals here for my receipts and payments. Sum up all my receipts, I get that answer. Sum up all my payments, I get that answer. Then what do? I need to post that through to my general ledger. Okay, so your cash receipts journal will be referenced in your bank T account. So on the 30th of June, you'll have total receipts, cash receipts journal, and the amount. The amount for this was that figure there, 139,011. Is that okay? Right, then I need to process the payments. Total payments, CPJ, and the total. There's the total. Right, now you need to balance this account off. Which side is bigger? Which side? The credit side is not bigger, it's smaller. If I add those two amounts together, I get 177. This side's bigger, right? Debit side's bigger, not so? Okay, so if the debit side's bigger, you're going to want that total on both sides, right? Okay, so then how do I balance? This figure here is calculated from the total minus this amount minus that amount, minus your credits. Okay, that gives me that answer. Balance carried down. 1st of July, balance brought down. That's the balance that I'm going to record in the books of the business. Okay, so you're looking for the missing figure. What I just did here is balancing. Okay, adding up the bigger side and then carrying down a balance, bringing down a balance. Happy with that? Great. Last bit is to look at the external records. This is simple and easy to do. You just need to add up. Right, so I'm going to do this. Add up both sides. Sum up, I'm going to show you what I get. Sum up this side, I get that. Sum up the other side, I get that. Which side's bigger? Credit side, right? This side's bigger, right? So that's the total that you want on both sides. Okay, so you add up both sides and you see which side's bigger. This side was bigger, so that's the total that I want. Then I write down the same total, and then I'm going to have a balancing figure. Balance as per the general ledger accounts. Okay, let's check. This amount, which is your total, minus all of the debits. Minus, gives me that figure. 23419.19. Have a look at this. This is why it doesn't balance. What balance did I write down? I don't know why I took that. Okay, I'm using the total. That's wrong. I need to use this figure. Okay, so please just fix that. Okay, you need to just change the opening balance. Right, that's why there's a problem here. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with the question actually. Just silly mistake, human error. Okay, this was 63683.51. Okay, balance as per the general ledger. Right, so in my question, I need to change that. 6363, what was it? 63, just read it out. 6368351. Okay, and then you should see that. Okay, so now this should balance with that. Okay, then you know you've done the Bank Recon correct. Okay, so yeah, please just fix that. That was a stupid mistake. I wrote in the wrong line. Okay, the actual balance in the question was this, 63683.51. 63683.51. Okay, then it balances. Right, so sorry, it's just a silly mistake there. Please correct that. Perfect. And that's how you do a bank reconciliation question. Not too bad, hey? Right, you'll see when you do the past papers, which I'll do with you. Okay, obviously I'll try to find a bank recon question there that we can do later on, and then you'll see they test it differently. They actually tell you what happened. They tell you this is what we checked, and this is what we found. Right, so all you need to do is literally just create this. You don't have to do all this ticking and crossing and all of that. This is how you would actually do it in real life. Okay, because you'll have source documents, you'll have your journals, you'll have to go and tick and check and all of that.
It's much easier. Even in the exam, you just
Either or, it doesn't matter. The exam is actually easier because they tell you what happened. So you don't have to do the interpretation. See, here you need to interpret. You need to know who's correct, who's not correct. Do I adjust? Do I reconcile? Okay. Happy with the Bank Recon?
yes.
Perfect.